Welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be working on a Dyson V6 Cordless Vacuum. Now the reason why I'm working on this is because it starts to smell after a bit, and it doesn't have the power that it came with. So I have taken this apart before and cleaned it, but today I figured that I was gonna do a video and show everybody how to take this apart and give a thorough cleaning, just like new. This machine's, I've been using it for the past 5 years, and I also replaced the battery on it, and this battery works great. Got the battery from Amazon. So let's get to it. So this filter, I guess everybody knows how to pull it out. I've actually pulled it out, washed it, and I'm gonna put it near my heat vent to dry while I'm taking this apart. So I put it back in there so it looks like a hole to do this video for you guys. So next we're gonna take apart the arm, and this is the brush head. So I have also replaced this brush head as well too. So I'm gonna show you how to take it apart to do another thorough cleaning. As you can see, I started cleaning it and I thought, let's make a video and show you guys how to take it apart. So I think you guys will be more interested in taking apart the motor to do a thorough cleaning. So this part I'll just go through it very quickly. So you can use a coin or a flathead screwdriver, take this out, and you can see that there is a lot of guck just right here. So this started to smell really bad is because I think we vacuumed something in the washroom and it was a little wet and it got into somewhere. And right now whenever you vacuum, it smells really bad. So I'm going to do a thorough cleaning, clean out all the filters, and I'm going to wipe all of these, and we'll bring this back to new. So when you flip it around, there's another spot here that you could use a coin or a flathead. And right now, I don't have a flathead that big, so just take that out. And this whole part comes out. Before you get this out, you'll have to get some torque screw heads and remove these screws. This whole piece will come out, but this piece actually slides out this way, and you can actually change this. So I've changed this not too long ago. As you can see, it's still pretty new, but I'm going to get rid of all the hair. I'm going to give it a cleaning. I'm going to use my simple green, and I'm going to do a cleaning on this. So usually on this roller at the end, there's going to be a lot of hair. So you want to remove that first before you start cleaning this area. Okay, so after taking apart all the torque screws on this, there's a little compartment right here. When you take it out, there's some more hair on this right here. So we want to clean this guy inside out. So after you remove all the torque screws underneath this unit, this plastic piece lifts up and you can access the motor here, and you can access this glass panel or this plastic panel that you can give it a good cleaning so it looks new. So we're gonna do that. So after taking apart that plexiglass part, there's actually a seal all around here. So I have washed it all, and I've put it to dry right now in my heat vents. Just let it dry. By the time we finish cleaning this, it should be ready to go. So now we're gonna start to clean the neck part here. So there is a lot of hairballs and dust that will be stuck right here in the middle where the neck pieces. So just use something to dig it all out and give it a good cleaning. Alright, so I took apart the neck and I used one of these brush and I've cleaned it all out. If you guys could see it, before it was all stuck with all of these. Cleaned it all out. It's gonna perform a lot much better. And I gave it a brush in here as well. Alright, so after you do all the cleaning, this is all cleaned. There is a dust rubber gasket all around this, so make sure you put that back in before it goes back together. So after you did a thorough cleaning, so we're going to assemble everything back together. Slide this back in there. So I got this head back in there as well. This glass is all cleaned. Put that dust gasket back on, and we're going to assemble this all back. Okay, so after you assemble everything back together, I just plugged it into the Dyson just to make sure that the motor and everything is engaged. So as you can see, it's spinning, so the motor is engaged. So we're good to go to move on to the motor piece. So let me clean up a bit and I'll show you guys how to take apart the motor. Okay, so the next part I did was I cleaned out the bin. So this rubber gasket comes right out. So you could take that out and give it a good cleaning. And that's what I did. Give it a good cleaning. There are some connectors here. If you do wet them, make sure you blow dry them so they don't rust or have corrosion. So that's what I did. I have an air blower and I gave this a good washing with some simple green. And then I blow dried it. So this is ready to go back. So now the final part is cleaning the motor. So I'm going to show everybody how to take apart the motor. So if everybody can see, I took out the filter here and this is how it looks like. So you want to clean this mesh filter before we take it apart. So let's start cleaning this. Let's start cleaning this piece right here. This is a brush. Clean it all out. Get another vacuum if you have another vacuum. I have a shop vacuum after. I'm going to give it a good cleaning. And I'll show everybody how to take this apart. Alright, so to take apart this motor, now I recommend you guys do it at caution. So I'm not telling you to do it because the battery is still engaged and you could unplug the battery. So this mesh comes out by using a flathead screwdriver and gently prying on the side, and after that this mesh filter comes out. And after you take that out, there are some screws that hold this on, which I'll show you guys in a bit, okay? First thing you want to do actually is disengage the battery, which you could use a Phillips screwdriver, and just right underneath here, unscrew this battery, unscrew the screw, and the battery will come apart. That's how I changed the battery when I replaced this battery. So give it a little wiggle and this whole battery comes out. Fairly easy to change. So if your Dyson is dying and because of lack of battery, you could actually get this battery on Amazon, and it's only one screw. Alrighty, so we got the mesh off. You could clean that, wash that off, and we're gonna get to the motor and clean each of these cylinders in there. So the next step is to remove this this funnel you have to use a Torx screw again. There's 5 that holds on to this funnel. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So take apart all these. Make sure you don't lose the screw. So after you remove all the screws, this funnel or tunnel comes right off. And again, I'm going to use a simple clean. I'm going to clean that off. So I could tell that the screws are a little bit rusty. It's most likely there's some water that we vacuumed and it got into it. So if you look at this motor, there is a gasket that is right here. So I'm going to remove the gasket for cleaning as well too. Give that all a good cleaning, and this whole gasket actually comes out if you give it a gentle tug and yank. So this gasket comes with this piece as well. See, so clean all that up, give it a good wash, give it all cleaned. So this is actually not what you expected. These are all just air tunnels that the strong motor sucks air into all these chambers, and it pulls from each of these little tunnels. So you want to take this all apart and clean it out as well. Okay, so if you're wondering how to take this piece off to clean out inside all of the chambers, if you look underneath here, there's 2 clips right over here. So let me zoom in. There's 2 clips right here. If you use a small flathead, give it a squeeze on here, and give it a squeeze on here, using your thumb to try to give it a little nudge or push, and this should come right out. And after it comes right out, you can see that the main part that draws this whole thing, the motor's right here. So I'm going to show you how to take this apart to clean out the mesh filters right here, and this piece over here. I'm going to show you how to take it apart. There is 2 screws that holds this whole chamber together. One over here, one over here, and these are also Torx. So we're going to take this apart. I'm going to clean it underneath the sink, underneath some water, give it a good cleaning, dry it out. Again, if you want to speed up the process, you could use an air blower and dry it up and put everything back together. You'll probably get it all done in a day. But if you have the time, clean it out, let it dry, air dry, and then put everything back together. It's up to you. So let's use a Torx screwdriver. Take this apart. 2 screws. There's 1. That's 2. So whenever I take these apart, I'll try to use a basic loop to loop up any of these rubber gaskets just to keep them going longer. Alright, so let's take this apart. So I don't have a Torx screwdriver that is slim enough to fit in there. Most of my tools are a little too large to fit in there, but I did use an air blower or a compressed air, blow into each one of these channels, and what that does is it'll clean everything that is inside these chambers. Most of the time the Dyson motor is strong enough to actually wouldn't leave much residue inside of these ones, because when I was blowing it out in my garage, I didn't see much come out. So most of them should be all sucked and go into this chamber, you know, where those cone and funnels is. So in here is pretty clean. But if you do have a small torque, you can remove all those screws. This whole piece will come right out, and you can wash them out and then put it all back together. So now I'm ready to put everything back together because this piece is clean. Alright, so after you've got all these components clean, this is the dust chamber, I would call it. We're gonna assemble all these pieces back together. So these are all cleaned and dried out. Make sure it's all dry. So first things first is we are going to put this piece back in here. So this only fits in one way. As you can see, all of the shapes and everything are going to accordingly to that. So make sure this piece is back on very snug, because this piece, actually, if you understand how this works, is the air gets sucked in from the motor here, and it creates a strong vacuum through all of these gaskets, going through each of these small holes. It creates that pressure, and it comes through here, and all the dirt will be collected in this mesh piece, and you have your filter right here, right? So we're gonna put this back on, I'm gonna put this guy back on, and then we're gonna put all the screws back on, and then we're gonna put the mesh piece back on like this, and there we have it all cleaned out. So this piece has to be very tight, snug tight, so we're gonna put all our torque screws back on here. Okay, got all 5 Torx screws back in there, very tight, and this is looking pretty good. So we're gonna put the mesh back on there, and again, the mesh only goes in one way. You see this notch right here? This notch right here matches this notch right here. So before we took it off, we used a flat head. So we're just gonna get all these clips. You see all these 6 clips? We're gonna get it all back into place, and just gonna get it all in like that. Give it a push, give it a push. It all clicks in. So as for the motor, I wasn't able to get this part off. The last time when I was cleaning it, I was able to get it off. So we're not gonna scratch it up by prying this piece open, but the last time when I cleaned this, I was able to get this off. But what I did was I blew air in here, I blew air in here, and I blew some air in here, and lots of dust started coming out, which is good. So the fins inside this Dyson motor should be all clean from dust. So we're going to give this a try by assembling everything back together, and hopefully we'll get all the power that we lost when we, over the time, from all the dust and moisture. And the main thing, the reason why I'm doing this video today and cleaning this was because I believe we vacuumed something wet, and it got in there, it got stuck, and over the days, the air started to smell. The air coming out from here started to smell, but right away I noticed that this filter, when you pull it out and if you give it a smell, it does smell like that same smell. But while I was at it, I just took everything apart, show you guys how to clean out this Dyson that I've got. This is a Dyson V6, had it for about 5 years, maybe coming up 6. The battery died after about 2 to 3 years. So there we have it, cleaned it all out. We're gonna snap this back in place, put the battery in, and see how the power goes. Okay, so we got this chamber back in, and here's the battery. Battery slides in like this. And once you slide it in, it engages the switch. Very powerful. So we're going to put the 2 screws back on. There is 2 screws that there's 2 screws that hold on to the battery. One is here. This one uses the Phillips screwdriver. And there's one more screw that is right here on an angle. So like I said, 3 years ago we were going to throw out this Dyson, but I was able to find the battery, ordered it from Amazon, gave it a second life. And then the last time it was so clogged up that it wouldn't even suck, and I took it all apart, cleaned it the same way as I cleaned it today, and gave it another third life. And today we're cleaning it out because the air really stank from whatever that I vacuumed the other day. So I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to see if that filter's dry yet, put everything back together. Alright, so after I've assembled everything as like new, well not new, but hear that sound? That sounds very powerful. Nothing is stuck. So this is not fully dry yet, so I took out my hair dryer and also Dyson, and I dried this. Now this one is becoming very loose and everything, and I've used it for many years, so I'm gonna probably order one from Amazon just to replace it. So this filter goes here, and that's it. Very strong. So let's assemble the tube and everything back together. So here we have it. Dyson V6, completely restored, cleaned out, and it's strong. And I no longer have that smelly smell. And the motor's spinning down here. So I hope you liked my video. If you do, smash the like and subscribe to my channel. From time to time, I'll show everybody how to fix or repair certain things. Have a good day. Talk to you soon.